if you want to get a fantastic workout with just rings, right, getting a nice, good old pump in the chest and shoulders and triceps, then follow along with me, or try these exercises that I'm about to show you. First up, we're gonna have the ring pike push-up. So I'm gonna have my feet elevated. One thing about the ring pike push-up, hopefully the mic doesn't sound funny, is that it's very unstable. All pushing exercises on rings are very unstable. So it's going to be a lot harder than their counterparts that you would do either on the floor or on the bar. So I would recommend that as a beginner, you work your way up to doing ring pike push-ups. And to make the exercise easier, you want to either raise up the rings, right? Have your feet lower, right? I had my feet elevated here, so it's definitely much harder than if I were to just have my feet on the ground. Or you could practice negatives, right? So you practice just the going down portion of the movement, or you could even try and do like 90-degree half reps and stuff like that, and then build your way up to a much fuller range of motion. So that way you can still get into the movement if you want to do the movement rings, without having to go to lesser or different variations. Really make sure that you try and reinforce correct form with the movement, and that you're not accidentally doing like a push up or something like that. Remember, it's pike, so you really want to get that stretch at the hamstrings, and you want to try and go straight down. This is a vertical movement pattern, and you want to push up with your shoulders and your hands going above your head. And you can rotate the rings if you want, if you feel that's necessary, just to get more of the use from the rings. And you can even change your movement pattern by going wide, which is like a behind the neck press. Yeah. Whew. So yeah, even for me, ring pike push-ups are definitely hard. Like I said, work up to them. Make sure you can do a good amount of regular pike push-ups. I would say at least 8 on the ground, and then you can try and get to doing ring variations with your hands raised. So that means the rings are going to be raised and your feet flat on the floor. And then maybe you can add a platform to put your feet on, or you could lower the rings down further, whatever the case may be. And with this, you could use also parallettes if you want to make sure you still want to work that full range of motion if you're still not used to using the rings, because again, like I said, the rings are going to be a lot harder. But again, honestly, do whatever you want. Do whatever is going to work for your certain level, and just see what is going to work for you. Another thing to mention is that you will have to be careful as to how the rings will move. Since they're not in fixed position, they can sway back and forth. So that's why, again, I said it's going to be very beneficial for you to just get comfortable with the rings and just with the pike position in general, and to just practice other ring pushing movements, which I will show you later, just to get used to that unstableness of the rings. The next exercise, which is a great exercise, is the ring dips. So again, these are going to be very unstable. But again, like, they're just incredible at just really working your chest. And one thing about the rings is that you have what's called RTO, or rings turned out. So at the top position, you have your rings out like this. You have your palms facing outwards, and this will really squeeze your chest and also work your upper chest at the same time. Now, when people do the movement, they might go halfway down 90 degrees and then they'll come up. But what I like to do I like to get the rings down to my shoulder. Now this is going to require some mobility, but I would definitely say work up to it. If that's too uncomfortable for you, then just do the half reps. And also, if you're not strong enough, don't worry about rotating the rings out like how I am. Just keep them neutral. But over time, you really want to make sure you challenge yourself so you can get that rings turned out, so you can get the full benefit of the gymnastic rings. Ooh, man. Ooh. Guys, I'm telling you, the pump is literally insane from this. I just only did one set, and like I'm already getting like watermelon pecs over here, guys. So I promise you, rings will grow you a ginormous titties. All right, you just got to be careful at them. You got to practice at them, and don't worry, the boobs, the cleavage, they will come. Some people try and really squeeze like this to get more. Now, I don't really do this because it's kind of hard to do that. But if you want to challenge yourself, like I said, go ahead and get in front of your torso. Ooh. 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 All right. That will get you jacked, bro. Speaking of titties, if you have gynecomastia, like how I do, doing a lot of chest exercises or even dips will definitely help fill out your chest. I'd say dips specifically because the gyno sits at the lower pectorals. When you work the lower pectorals, you're going to grow those muscles, and those muscles are going to spread out the tissue, the breast tissue that sit there. So you're going to have a much fuller chest appearance and less of a actual like boob down there. Working out, getting lean, and building muscle on my chest has definitely helped with the appearance of my gyno. Ooh. I'll even put a picture up just for a comparison so you can kind of see side by side how I used to look and, of course, what I look like at the current moment. So, on to one of the best chest exercises, period. And I'm not just talking about bodyweight or calisthenics. This period in general, one of the best chest exercises, and that is the ring push-up. Now, I haven't done these as much. They can cause shoulder issues if you're not careful. But here, like I said, I'm getting my rings to my shoulders, making sure I'm keeping a straight torso position. And I'm coming up and I'm turning the rings out and I'm squeezing in, which really just gets those pecs freaking destroyed and dominated. Now, if you want, you can spread the rings out lower and go lower. You're kind of doing like a Bulgarian push-up at that point. And you're really challenging your chest. Now, this was my most major chest exercise when I was really starting out. And just the amount of tension I would get in my complete chest was insane. I mean, if you've experienced rings before and ring push-ups, you will know that feeling of just how crazy the squeeze and the pump is with ring push-ups. Here I did decline ring push-ups just to kind of counterbalance the dips, since dips is so lower chest focus, just so you can get a fuller chest experience, or sorry, chest exercise. I also think calisthenics has been great for my chest. Any type of weight movement I would do, I would always have a problem feeling my chest. I don't know why, but push-ups, dips, I really feel my chest doing that. And then with the movement pattern of rings, boy, that's a completely different experience. There's like literally no other exercise like ring dips and ring push-ups that will challenge your chest like no other. Ugh. So definitely try them out. I will put the rings that I have in the description, but you could probably find a cheaper pair. It's also very important that if you are going to invest in your own pair of rings, to get the ones with the numbers on them, because it's going to be very, very important to make sure your rings are the same height and they're stable. And trusting your own eyeballs, right, with having just a blank nylon strip might not be the best. Um, and your body might get used to being unbalanced. So you really want to make sure that you get the ones with numbers and notches on them, so you can know the height that they're at, and so that way you can be training just more efficiently without leading to any imbalances or becoming injured over time. On to our next exercise, which is an isolation exercise. That will be the tricep extension. This is also going to be our last exercise, right? We just hit our shoulders, we destroyed our chest. We're going to wake up with a sore chest tomorrow morning, and now we're going to hit the triceps. So it's going to be very important to note that with the tricep extension, when it comes to calisthenics movements, even if you're doing them on bars, is going to be a lot of core. Especially with the more straight your torso is, which is very important for form, the more core is going to be involved. And then, of course, you want to make sure you're properly warmed up and you're not just jumping straight into the movement. You want to have done like already, your push-ups and your dips and stuff like that, because this is going to be very strenuous on your elbows. So yeah, let me just get into the movement, show you how I do it. So I go down, I do hold a false grip. You don't have to do that, but I just kind of do it to make sure my shoulders are, not my shoulders, but my wrists are in the same position. And of course, I just push up. I go right behind my head. Sometimes I might further extend, which is going to have more lats, but that's just going to stretch your triceps a lot more when they come up. Really make sure your forearms meet your biceps. That's going to be a full stretch on the triceps. And fully extend by flexing your triceps at the top. Whew. Whew. I could do more. I could do more. Whew. Whew. That's hard, guys. If you want to decrease the difficulty of the exercise, you can always, of course, just raise the rings, right? You can always adjust things to your difficulty level, or to your personal experience with the rings. And that's one great benefit about them, because they're adjustable. You can't really adjust parallettes. You can't really adjust dips or dip bars. If you want to, you would have to buy like a much more expensive pair of them. But with rings, what, 25 to 30 bucks, maybe 40 bucks at most, one time purchase, and just, it's great. Don't sleep on rings, guys. Don't sleep on them. Another thing to mention with the tricep extensions, if it is too challenging on your core trying to keep a straight torso position, then you can, of course, bring your legs in closer, and now your hips are going to be at like a 90-degree angle, which is just going to make the exercise easier in general. And of course, the load on your core won't be as much, but I would definitely say challenge yourself and push yourself so you can get that straight torso position. So that way, like, you're killing two birds with one stone, right? You're working your core, you're in your core stability, as well as your triceps, right? You're getting an isolation movement and a core movement at the same time. Like, what what other discipline can you do that in besides like calisthenics or bodyweight training? But if you guys enjoy this video, please let me know. I do have a pulling workout that I posted the day before this, so please go on and check that out. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. See you guys in the next video. Peace out.